This is the story of how a team of farmers, engineers, and designers came together to create something extraordinary. A family of tractors unlike any produced before. Introducing the redesigned 7R, 8R, 8RT, and a new addition to John Deere's legendary 8 Series lineup, the 4-track 8RX. The autumn's cool nights and shrinking days mean only one thing: it's harvest time. For more than 180 years, John Deere has been developing and delivering equipment to farms around the globe. For tilling, planting, harvesting, whatever is needed to keep farms productive and farmers prosperous.
What do you think?
And this year, John Deere is giving a few families the opportunity to test the tractors that are the next leap forward in technology.
I'm Justin.
Packaged in a special pre-release black and green coat and packed with added horsepower, comfort, and technology, these tractors are ready for final testing.
Currently, we're at our R&D facility in Waterloo, Iowa. This is where we do some of our tractor testing, but our testing doesn't happen just here at this location. We also have test farms or test sites where we test our tractors on real working farms.
Customer feedback is really our report card. It tells us everything from how we did in designing the tractor, how comfortable it is, as well as how well we did in getting the tractor produced to the specifications through our factories.
Dozens of farms across the world have tested John Deere's tractors in the past, but only a select few will get to preview the 8RX. Shane Schutz operates a family farm in Rock Falls, Illinois.
I'm a third-generation farmer from Northern Illinois. I farm with my dad, my brother, my brother-in-law, my 2 sons. We grow corn, soybeans, and some vegetables, some peas and some sweet corn. It's just in your blood.
But as every farm family knows, farming is a tough business. It's a constant search for new ways to get more productivity out of the land in less time, while using fewer resources. Shane Schutz is hoping the new design of the 8RX will help him with his mission.
Yeah, every new tractor is a little bit better. And with the technology and now with this track, it's really exciting for us.
Mike Brewer leads a large farm in Alberta, Minnesota. He, as well, has farming in his blood.
So I'm basically the 4th generation of a brewer in this area, and now my son Ethan is here with me, so he'd be the 5th generation of this area that we've actually had the opportunity to farm in. We can control when we get up in the morning, what we're going to do today, but we have to deal with the adversarial world of the winds and the rains, and so we're always wondering, are we going to get a crop? Are we not going to get a crop? Are we going to spend money and not get it back? How are we going to pay it back? And that's a big challenge for a lot of people in our industry.
For Ethan Brewer, now a father himself, the future of farming rests heavily on technology.
There's a lot of uncertainties in business, especially with farming. I'm just going to have to take it a day at a time and see what I can do. And with all these new advancements in technology, it seems like it's going to make it a lot easier so I can have more efficiency, less downtime, and in the long run, more time with my daughter.
About an hour outside of Minneapolis, Joe Ludowies is carrying on his own family farming tradition.
We are primarily corn. We have some soybeans, and then we have a few specialty crops, dark red kidney beans, sweet corn. We got some sugar beets also. It's a family operation, but it's also a business. And so we try to treat it as such.
One of the business metrics that Joe keeps an eye on most closely is uptime.
Uptime is critical, and that's why we work with specifically with John Deere. We've got a great dealer network that's really close by for us. The equipment has been dependable. I guess I'd put it this way, downtime is not an option.
The product teams behind the 7 and 8 series can relate to the needs of these farmers because many of them come from farm families themselves.
When I'm doing tests both in the lab and in the field, I just constantly am thinking back to how my family would use the machine or how my family's friends would run the tractor.
I've got an extensive history with John Deere and John Deere products. I have a lot of memories going back to childhood, riding with my father, my grandfather in tractors since the beginning of when I could walk.
As a farm boy whose brothers farm back in Minnesota, it's been hard for me to not be able to tell them what I'm working on. But now, we're ready to introduce the new 8R tractor, and I am beyond excited to see how customers like my brothers, my neighbors, or the people in my home area, how they will accept and adopt this tractor into their practices.
Their own personal experience, coupled with their extensive interactions with farmers, have given John Deere's engineers a deep understanding of what today's farmers need to keep their businesses strong.
We could be very ignorant and just design what we think is the best tractor in the world, but if we don't have the customer in mind from day one, we might be designing the wrong solutions for our customers.
Things that we got from customers was, I have less time in my day than I did before. I've got a shorter growing season, I've got a bigger operation. I need to be able to work more productively. We want this tractor to do better at putting the power to the ground, doing a better job of extending the time when you can get in and do the growing.
Beyond providing additional performance, the teams have worked to enhance the tractor's precision as well.
The integrated Starfire 6000 receiver is going to improve auto track accuracy, and then features that our customers are familiar with are also integrated within the machine. So things like auto track turn automation, JD Link to ensure that your fleet is connected, and then also remote support.
Should be 45 loads in there.
In his 5 decades of farming, Terry Schutz has seen a lot of changes in the way we grow and harvest crops. But few technological advances have had as much impact as John Deere's satellite tracking and data management solutions.
I'm not sure I'd still be farming today if it wasn't for that type of technology, period.
For the operator station team, the focus has been on how the driver feels after a long day behind the wheel.
So the cab is really the thing that the operator experiences the entire time that they're in the tractor. One of the things that our customers continuously tell us is that they need improved comfort. When they're in this cab for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, they need a comfortable cab, and you can really feel that. And when you sit in that new seat, you can tell that we took those customer needs and we delivered on it.
But in the end, when designing a tractor, there is one thing that matters more than anything else.
I grew up on a diversified dairy and hog farm. We did crop farming, so tractors had to run every day. I mean, whether it was feeding or cleaning, so reliability was key.
Farmers just want the machine to work. At the end of the day, the fancy features we come out with, those are nice, but these machines have to work.
Now, 25 years after the release of the first 8000 series tractor, the 8RX is ready to go to work. Shane Schutz from the Schutz family farm was one of the first to receive a pre-production 8RX.
Pretty excited today. Rob, our product coordinator from John Deere, is coming out to show us about our new 8RX. He's going to show us all the cool features and what we're going to be in for a fun fall.
Guys, I was really anxious to get out here. I'm just excited about this. Really looking forward to just hearing your feedback on this thing. I mean, I was up till about 1 o'clock last night, just thinking about getting out here and trying to get to this machine. 9-liter engine, this is 410 horse.
I did notice the fuel tank was a little bit bigger.
Fuel tank is quite a bit bigger, so that should give you quite a bit of time in the field without having to refuel. Overall styling, we've gone to really a more aggressive look with this one. So it's blockier, it's edgier. I think you're seeing more cuts and lines. It's really, I think, just a more aggressive look. So, I mean, overall, I mean, it just looks like a meaner machine, in my opinion.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But what really gives the 8RX its look is the newly designed track system.
Shane, we've got a 18-inch belt configuration here. Solid yoke here, cast iron, drive sprocket. Those drive sprockets really gonna catch those drive lugs and really deliver that power to the ground that I think that you're looking for. What would you maybe see some advantages to those larger belts for?
I think the larger belt's probably a little bit bigger bite for maybe if you're going to use this tractor for heavy tillage. We're going to stay with the 18-inch, the smaller, so we can keep our options open for side rest, high application, planter.
Okay, absolutely, yeah.
And just as the width of the tracks can be changed, so too can the spacing between the tracks.
So offer this in 120-inch wheel spacing, so obviously your track belts you can also vary that as well. So we go down to 76-inch spacing for a narrower footprint track, but I feel like how we've got this configured now is gonna perform in a variety of applications for you, and I really think that less soil disturbance, less compaction, less berming, better stability on hills. Really excited to just get this out in the field and get it dirty and really see this thing work.
We are too.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I think you're probably liking already off the bat is, so we moved the door handle down.
Yes.
I mean, is that something that you guys are really liking, that new feature?
Yes.
So really what that's allowing you to do is you're gonna be able to better access that cab from the ground level. And that was some of the feedback that we were getting from our customer base, is that they wanted to go to this type of door style. So,
inside the cab, the new features and updates continue.
Obviously some styling features we've updated in here. We've added foot pegs just for convenience, so I think you're gonna like that, at least rotating inside of the cab.
Yes.
Other things we've updated in here, we've changed the radio bezel around, we've added a touch screen. CB access is so simple now. So we've added that connection here in the radio bezel on the side rather than pulling up the corner post.
It's a lot easier to install now. Yes, it is.
Definitely a better setup there. Put speakers in the corner post as well, so probably a little bit better experience if you're running XM in here, or guy wants to run an auxiliary port in here. So we've added some just convenience features. We've added some plug-ins, some USBs, and we've got USBs along the side of the cab as well. The fridge behind us changed a little bit, so it's a little bit higher, a little bit more accessible.
A little bit easier to get into.
Right. On the steering column here, a little bit of change, not much different. You've got rear wiper access. You can toggle in between left, center, right. But overall, some new options and additions in here to really increase the operator station. So
I can't wait till it dries up and we can get this baby in the dirt.
Definitely. Need to get some hours on this thing, so.
Thanks, man.
Yep, absolutely.
But the true test of the 8RX isn't how it looks in the shed. It's how it performs in the field.
The development cycle of a tractor is something that John Deere has really worked through many years and generations of tractors. It really begins with a lot of virtual work up front, doing a lot of computer simulations and analysis. From there, we work on the component levels through drivetrains, engine testing, component testing of each component, and then eventually that feeds into a full vehicle test, which of course we do a lot of work within our facility, but also we spend a lot of time with real customers out in the field getting thousands of hours running in real applications. And that's the feedback loop that really sets, I think, us apart.
We're in Minnesota because it's harvest season, and we've built over 20 tractors to actually put into customer hands in real applications. What's their feedback? Good, bad? What suggestions do they still have as we go down the final stretches of product development? And ultimately, to put the tractors in the dirt to prove out that they are what we designed them to be for our customers.
For the design team, these are the moments that really matter.
What do you think?
I'm excited to be back where I grew up in Renville County, Minnesota. And I'm proud to be a part of John Deere. I'm proud to be a part of the leadership team that brought the new 8R together. But the fact of the matter is, what the customer actually thinks of it is going to be the most important. So as a piece of me, I'm a little nervous on how will he respond to, hey, it's great to see you, Justin. You were a part of this project. Let me tell you about some things that maybe didn't go so well. But at the same time, I'm really confident that we've developed and delivered a wonderful tractor. And I'm really excited to let people know that I was a part of this at John Deere, bringing the next generation of 8R tractors to market.
When you get a new piece of equipment on the farm, it's like a reward. It's like a present on Christmas morning. It's something new. It's something that you're going to get to drive, and you spend so much time and hours in it that's something that you just look forward to.
On the Schutz family farm, the first challenge for the 8RX is pulling a cart at harvest.
Cool thing about the dual display is you can swap them out. So this has got all my tractor functions over here, and then the one up there is actually your guidance page. The view is great.
Shane and his sons have each had a chance to get behind the wheel of their 8RX.
How was the slipwise in these muddy conditions? How was the tracks?
Whatever speed you wanted it to go, it'd go it. Didn't have any slippage, didn't have any problems going through the mud. Pulled the cart like there was nothing behind.
The tracks, they give you more surface area on the ground over tires. So in aspect, that's better performance, better efficiency, less slip. Yeah, that's good. These are optimal conditions for a tractor like this. That's where this thing's really gonna shine.
So I filled this cart too, and on the way back up to the headlands with this tractor, there's about a 2-speed different, 2-mile-an-hour difference between what you wanted to go and what you were getting. This tractor, I mean, I had it set at 7 miles an hour and it was going 7 miles an hour, no problem. Didn't act like it was pulling anything. Didn't have any problems.
In central Minnesota, the Brewer and Ludowies families have been combating wet conditions throughout this growing season.
This is 9th of October and we haven't done any harvest yet, so I guess that the immediate needs for us are for some cooperation with the weather.
It's been a challenging harvest season, and there is a real threat that running equipment across their wet fields could damage the soil.
We're trying to minimize our impact out there, and one of the ways we're trying to do that is obviously with flotation of our tractors. We're seeing that, and especially a year like this spring where everybody in probably the upper Midwest struggled to try to plant their crop. We're seeing crops that aren't going to yield like we would normally see them, and that's all part of trying to spread that weight and get that tractor and that application to work and not cause compaction, because we know that down the road is going to have long-lasting effects.
But with winter fast approaching, some farmers have no choice but to harvest. The 8RX is about to get the kind of test that no computer could ever simulate.
We intend to put it on a grain cart and some vertical tillage tools. We are trying to get our hands on a high-speed disc and do some, a little bit lighter tillage and grain cart operations with it.
Beans are just finally starting to get dry. Actually, most people are actually taking them wetter than they normally would, just because we're dealing with issues with rain coming in and the snow coming in. We got to get something done.
Having pushed their 8RXs through a difficult harvest, the Minnesota test teams are ready to talk about their experience. For the John Deere engineers, input like this may be the most important piece of data they receive from the entire design and manufacturing process.
Well, hey, it's a beautiful tractor you got here.
Beautiful place.
What's
Very nice.
maybe your first impression of this tractor?
You know, after driving it, I think the one thing I noticed is how smooth it is both on the road and on the field, and then with the cab suspension, that really makes it for a nice ride.
Good, comfortable ride?
Absolutely.
That's great.
Steering is really impressive too.
Hey.
Nice tight turning radius.
Yep. Good steering authority, and that's great.
Handles nicely.
How's your visibility? What's your first impressions of visibility when you drive this vehicle?
Visibility is awesome. Sits nice and high. Seems like things are out of the way so that you can see around 360 degrees really nicely.
Anything about this tractor you think works on your farm better, or anything you see benefiting your operation?
I think overall, just the tracks. We have highly compactable soils, and having the 4 tracks and not berming on turns and things like that's really beneficial for us. I think sitting up as high as it does too, for things like pulling a grain cart, being able to see into the trucks a little better, that's a big positive.
Yeah, visibility appears to be really nice. You can see all around really well.
The lighting too has improved dramatically. It's a lot easier working at night.
The lighting packages have been redesigned for the 7 and 8 series. These upgrades were made in response to customers' comments about the increased time they find themselves working into the night.
Too much work at night.
Too much work. So hopefully that lighting package helps you be a little more efficient in the evenings.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Well, the weather around here has been really a challenge this year. It was a challenge right from the start in the spring. Everything got late. We finished planting corn right at the end of May. Soybeans were in June. And then harvest is an even bigger challenge so far. We don't have any soybeans out, haven't even looked at corn, trying to get some of the other specialty crops moving, which a lot of times are happening in September. So a lot of weather issues that we're dealing with this year.
How do you feel this 4-track 8R can help you now as you go into a wet fall harvest?
Well, we're hoping that it would do a nice job pulling a grain cart around in the field, a little less compaction. Our grain carts are on tracks, and so it'd be nice to pull the grain carts with a tractor also.
Yeah, minimizing ruts really helps. It sets you up for the next year as well. That'll really help minimizing ruts and getting fall tillage done the right way.
Great. Joe, from the beginning of our project of introducing the new 8R, it was very important for us to hear from people like yourself. And we really appreciate your time to partner with us, to teach us and show us how you use this tractor in your operation. So on behalf of John Deere, thank you so much for your time with us.
Well, for us, it's been just a wonderful experience to be involved in getting an early look at this, and just the desire from John Deere to have feedback from us has been wonderful. We think that's, long term is a great benefit to these type of pieces of equipment, to get the feedback from the end users.
Guys, thanks so much for all you've done for us. Wish you guys the best.
Thank you so much. Down the road in Alberta, machine coordinator Robert Mejia is paying a visit to Ethan Brewer to get his first impressions on his 8RX.
Morning, Ethan.
Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. How's the tractor treating you so far?
It's quite nice. It's more than I expected.
Yeah?
So,
what do you like so far about it?
Well, I like the height of it. That's the first thing I noticed. I sit about a foot higher compared to my other 8R series, and the cab is just leaps and bounds ahead of my other one. The way the suspension is set up, it works great when you go over ruts or bumps or anything. If you hit a rock in the field, it just kind of glides right over it.
Right. Hey, have you noticed any of the features on the seat at all?
There's a lot of nice creature comforts there. Yeah? I must say, it's a lot easier to be in a cab all day when you've got that with the seat, the premium seat you have with the heated and cooled, and then the massaging aspect that's in there. It makes for a pretty nice day, and especially with the foot pegs that you put up on the steering column, and there's one on the side of the console to your right. It's easy to move around in there and put your feet up to relax a little bit. So it works well that way.
Good. So when you're hooking up to some implements, you said you see some better turn radius on that seat?
Yeah. The seat swivels a little bit more than the last one. I turn around and I can see right down here like this instead of having to sit like this and move my body around.
Right.
So it works a lot easier that way.
Any other things that you saw that you were like, wow, I'm excited that this is on this tractor?
Yeah, there's quite a few things. I noticed that with these new tracks there, and there's not as much buildup as trash residue around here. Yeah, I'll go around and I'll clean off some dirt here, but there's, that's gonna happen.
And you were talking about rideability, like in the cab. It doesn't feel like you're jostled around, doesn't feel like at the end of the day you've been beat up.
Yep. We do some rotary ditching, and you'll notice it when you come up to one of those spots where we've ditched through. That 2-track tractor will want to nosedive in there and it'll kind of jolt you around like that. But this, it just kind of walks right over it, especially since you've got 4 tracks compared to the 2. But that new cab suspension is just unbelievable the way it rides.
For the team at John Deere, the positive feedback from the Schutzes, the Brewers, and the Ludowises is a validation of their design and manufacturing process. When you listen to what your customers tell you and create for them tools and technologies that help their farms run more efficiently, you'll not only earn their business, you'll help them strengthen their business as well. And now, the 8RX along with the 8RT, 8R, and 7R are being introduced to customers around the world. For everyone involved in design, engineering, and testing, it is a time of appreciation and anticipation.
We relish the opportunity today to put this limited production build product through its paces to make sure that this is what the need we have is, and so far it's met all of our expectations.
John Deere with the reliability, the dependability.
It's just simply dependability. Things have to work.
It's kind of in our blood too.
John Deere and the brand, that's very deep rooted in a lot of our families. There's something that really kind of gets down deep inside of you, I think, with just the John Deere brand in general and what it stands for. So we obviously want to put out the most reliable and the best product out there in the market, and we really aim to do that, and we strive to do that.
I can't stop smiling, I guess, when I'm around the product. It's not just me. There's hundreds of people involved in a big undertaking like this.
And to be a part of that really is just so inspiring to me. Farmers are salt of the earth, and they are working so hard to feed the world.
I'm very proud to be able to be in an industry that gets to support farmers that are providing great products for our future and for our kids.
So I really look forward to these tractors being released to the public and getting to see the reaction on the customer's face.
This is a next step, and it's a new machine for them. It's another big monumental change for where we've been. We'll look back at this and say this was another big step in the John Deere history of tractors.
For more information about the new 8RX Plus, the new 7R, 8R, and 8RT tractors, visit our website at johndeere.com. For a complete walk around of all that's new on these tractors, visit our YouTube channel. And for a demo, see your local John Deere dealer.